The Global Triathlon Network is the go-to place for triathlon training tips, but if you're over 40 like me, their strength advice may not cut it. And the reason why is because it's designed for very general audiences, not for athletes managing joint stiffness, slow recovery, and muscle loss after 40. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I tweaked their plan based on 10,000 hours of personal training, all with people over the age of 40, and the way I've prepared for my own triathlons and my current Ironman prep at the age of 46. Now, the plan that they put on their website and on their YouTube channel, I'm gonna link that down below so you can have a look at it, okay, is this. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 exercises. Now, I do like the number of exercises. I think that's a great number to start with. It's not overwhelming, it's not too confusing, and you can get this done. But the exercise itself is in no particular order, okay? There's no real structure to it. It feels like they threw in a bunch of exercises that loosely hit certain muscles based on swimming, running, and obviously biking, and they put them together. So look, if you don't really care, by all means give it a follow, but I'm gonna break this down just a little bit, and I'm also gonna give you some suggestions. I'm gonna have a brand new plan that you can follow, which is gonna be way more targeted to, number one, the over 40 athlete in mind, and number 2, to get you way more results and way more strength gains in your run, bike, and your swim. So let's just talk about banded walks. Now, it's a really, really good exercise, banded walks, but it doesn't really have any place in a strength and conditioning program, in my opinion. This is more of a rehab, it's more of an accessory kind of exercise. And banded walks should be there somewhere, but I think you can blend it together with another exercise to make this a lot more efficient. And the exercise that I would choose would be a banded kettlebell squat. And the reason being is that those banded side steps are great for working the sort of glute medius and everything. But if you put a band around your knees and then you do a kettlebell squat, you're getting your glute activation and your hips at the same time as your quads and your legs. You're also getting quite a lot of core work at the same time, because when you're holding a kettlebell in front of your body's working really hard to stabilize your core and the weight. So a banded kettlebell squat, I think, is a much better option, and you'll get way more done in the same sort of time. Because think of it, when you're biking, you need quad strength, you need core strength, okay? You need all those things going on. And you also need glute strength when you're sort of running and biking, and even when you're swimming as well. So a banded kettlebell squat would be my preference. Then you got Supermans. Again, Supermans are a great sort of core rehabby type exercise. I'd probably place it to the end of the workout. But my exercise of choice would be, if you're trying to work on the posterior chain, which is the muscles of the back, would be a good old-fashioned lat pull down. Because a lat pull down, when done right, you're bringing the weight down towards your chest, you're getting the big muscles of the back to work, the lats in particular, you're getting the biceps to work as well. And think of it, when you're in the swimming and you're in the catch as well, so those big lat muscles that are pulling back through the water under resistance. And with a lat pull down, you can progressively overload that as well. So you can test if you're getting stronger week by week by week by increasing the weight, increasing the volume, which I'll talk about in a little bit more time. The next thing you got is single leg squats. Now, the problem I have with single leg squats is that they're really difficult to do. Not only that, if you were time poor, standing there doing single leg squats, okay, is probably not the best use of your time when there's another better exercise. And the exercise that I would choose would be a walking lunge. Because a walking lunge is going to give you the same kind of benefits as a single leg squat. But with this one, you can actually overload it more. You can use dumbbells instead. You can get it done a little bit faster. You're working on your glutes a little bit more as well. And not only that, it mimics running a little bit better as well, because obviously when you're running, you're taking a big step forward, you work on your glutes. It kind of similar exercise to that. So walking lunges, I think, are going to be a better option for most people. The next exercise that they chose was push-ups. Now, being a trainer for 10 years with people over 40 and even training a couple of younger ones, push-ups are really hard. And a lot of people do them very, very wrong. And if you do them wrong, you end up putting a lot of stress on your shoulders, which is unnecessary. So my exercise of choice would be a floor, dumbbell, or barbell press. And the reason I would choose that exercise is, again, you can start off light. If you may be struggling with a shoulder injury, you can still work on those muscles without making it worse, because with press-ups, you've only got like 3 variations on your knees, standard or on an incline. And a floor dumbbell press, you can really use a really light weight and get that done. The other thing a floor dumbbell press does as well is that it doesn't put your elbows behind your body, put an extra stress on the shoulder. It means that when you do the dumbbell press, you bring it down, it hits the floor, and you go forward again, meaning you can handle a little bit more weight, get a little bit stronger by doing it that way, and it's way safer than press-ups in my opinion. The next exercise they've got is calf raises, and I'm actually going to leave that in there. I think that is a great exercise, certainly for running. I've been struggling with a calf injury myself, and calf raises and calf stretches have been like absolute key component to help me rehab back from that. Then we got glute bridges. Again, I think glute bridges are a great exercise as well. However, you could actually load them up a little bit as well. And as you can see up in the video there, I'm using a sandbag on my hips to lift that up. You can even do it with one leg at a time as well to make it work better. But again, that is a fantastic exercise. We do want to train our glutes. They're the biggest muscle in the body, often the ones that don't work and fire as much as usual. And when you're running, certainly when you're swimming as well, to keep your legs stable as well. We all know we kick from the glute area. When you're running, you're driving force forward. So glute bridges are a great exercise. Again, you just remember to overload that where you can. And then we got planks. Now, planks, I'm kind of not a big lover of planks, I gotta be honest with you. So the exercise I would choose would be something called a plank heave. And the plank heave, as you can see in the video, is what it's doing. You're moving weight from one side to the other while in a plank position. It's a little bit more dynamic than a standard plank. And because the thing of it is, when you're on a bike and you're pedaling, you need to keep your core straight as well while you're doing it. And this is kind of mimic that exercise, keep you strong in that plane. Again, when you're running, you need a strong core. And again, when you're swimming, you need a strong core as well as you're pulling through the water. This way, you know, there's a bit of rotation going as well. So a plank heave, I think, is a much better option. Now, as we go through this, there is an order that I would like to do, all right? They're not just random exercises thrown together. And the order that I will want to do is the big muscles first, and then as you go down the list, you then do the smaller muscles of the body, leaving the accessory stuff to the end. Because the thing of it is, if you do plank heaves at the beginning, then your core is now going to be fatigued. Therefore, if you start doing heavy kettlebell squats, you can compromise your core because it's already tired. So I'm going to number these from 1 to 7 in the order that I would like you to do them. So number 1, the biggest muscles really of the body are going to be legs. So number 1 is going to be a banded kettlebell squat. That's the first exercise. Then we've got number 2, next big muscle is going to be lat pull downs, okay? The third one, we're going to be doing, again, legs, which is walking lunges. Then we're going to go number 4, and it's going to be a floor dumbbell press. Then we're going to go into a glute bridge, which is going to be number 5. Then we're going to go number 6 with plank heaves, and the last one is going to be calf raises. So that would be my number of order to do it based on what they put out and my different recommendations. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is going to be PO, or progressive overload. And progressive overload is a fancy way of doing a little bit more than you did last week, because the exercises that the GTN put on there was no really progression with them. They just are what they are. But the exercises I want to give you will have a lots of progression, because as an athlete over 40, you are losing muscle anyway, regardless of what you're doing, you know, with the exercise, right? And you're losing muscle anyway, you know, just because we're getting older. But when you start doing lots of cardio, like running and swimming and biking, like those activities are catabolic in nature, which means they break down muscle mass even more. And I can honestly say, like, in the last sort of 18 months to 2 years I've been doing triathlon, I've lost a lot of strength. There was a point where I was deadlifting 160 kilos, I was squatting 110, I'm way lower than what I was now, and that is just the nature of the beast. But I'm trying to keep myself as strong as possible, because though strength is not the goal, I need to maintain the muscle I have. So progressive overload allows me to pulse check and say, am I getting stronger, am I maintaining? because you can have a heavier dumbbell, you could do more reps of the same weight, whatever that is. But a good form of progressive overload is doing a little bit more than you did last week, either by manipulating reps or manipulating weight or manipulating speed as well, right? Then you got to look at volume across the course of a week. Now, for me, in part of my Ironman prep at the minute, I'm managing to do about 2 to 3 quality strength sessions per week, and they are full body workouts as well. If you would like a copy of the full body workout I'm following right now, just click on the link down below and I'll send that over for you to follow as well. But volume is really important, and volume really just means sets times reps times weight. And we know that we need about 10 to 20 sets of exercise per body part per week to grow muscle. So bodybuilders are up on that 20 set per week mark. But as us athletes, where strength should be a priority for us as well, we need to be in that sort of 10 to 12 sets per week mark. So when you're doing a full body workout, okay, like I recommend, say 2 times per week, with that in mind, you will need to do 6 sets of legs, right? And you would need, on say Monday and Friday. And the way I've just structured that workout with this to say the walk-in lunges and the squats, you will do 6 sets of legs in that one workout. So when you do it again a couple of days later, you will get that 12 sets in per week. So the way I've structured my workouts is because I do full body workouts, I get all the sets I need in just 2 workouts per week. And I know and I'm satisfied in myself that I can maintain my muscle as best I can. If I'm having a more of a deload week from sort of training, maybe I can build a bit of muscle as well. But it gives me a really good ballpark to be in to make sure that I'm not losing loads and loads of muscle. And volume is really, really important. So again, it's 10 to 12 sets per week per body part. And if you structure it properly with a full body workout, you're literally going to be able to hit those 12 sets in 2 workouts per week. Now, as I said, GTN, fantastic YouTube site for all things triathlon, so go and have a look at it. But I do feel they're lacking in more detailed strength and conditioning work as well. And even me on my Ironman journey right now, looking around for strength plans to follow and stuff, there's not a lot out there. And being a personal trainer, I know that I can do this better myself. And I thought while I'm doing it and I'm documenting my journey, I could share this with you as well. So if you did want a copy of my workout, let me know, click on the link down below. And also let me know what kind of strength and conditioning program you're following. I'd be more than happy for you to send that to me if you wanted, and I can maybe adjust it based on your needs as well. I'm happy to do that. But let me know what you think, and there's a video up in the top left hand corner there which I think you may like, so head over there. I'll see you on the next one.